Are you having trouble with your personal finances? In today's video, we learn 6 steps to financial freedom with Jerod A. Fisher, who is a financial services expert. Hey everyone, this is Charles, your host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, a place where connections matter. I'm here to serve you and to help small business owners and community leaders to increase their reach on social media through podcast interviews and how-to videos for new entrepreneurs. I encourage you to subscribe to this channel and give us some feedback in the comments. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to the Detroit Metro Plug podcast where connections matter. I'm Charles, your host, here to serve you and to bring you podcast interviews of local Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship and community involvement. I basically have a platform that serve you and bring guests on to talk about issues that is prudent to your life. And today we have a special guest. Always have a good guest on a podcast. But today's guest is going to share a little bit about steps to financial freedom. He has over 4 years experience as a business developer. His expertise is he has knowledge on how to build a business. And we have a special topic tonight. He's going to share the 6 steps to financial freedom. The 6 steps to financial freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our guest, Jerod Fisher.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Charles. I appreciate it, sir.
Yes, I'm glad to have you on. Okay, so if you don't mind, just share a little bit about yourself. Anything that you would care to share.
Okay, well, who am I, right? I am from Detroit. I actually played football. Right, I almost went to Cass Tech for a bit, but had a situation where my mom and them had moved out of town, so we had started living out in Sterling Heights. Right, so I played football at Stevenson High School, was one of the best in the whole entire nation. Played college football at Grambling State University. Had come back, played college football over at Siena Heights University, and man, it's been going on. Right, I had a concussion though that changed my life forever.
Okay.
And that's what brought me into the world of financial services, right,
okay.
Into businesses. But yep, that's a little bit of info about me, man, when it comes down to what got me here.
Okay. All right. Now, how did you get your start in the business that you're in today?
Well, I was actually approached at church. It was a church service. I was a brand new person to the church. And somebody had came up to me who was a vice president, and he had asked me if I was a preacher or a pastor. And I told him, no, I just work at General Motors. But from there, I was able to go to a business seminar, and then I was able to invest in creating my own business. Okay.
All right. That's great. And as I said, you have 4 years experience in doing that.
Yes.
And we're excited to have you here to share your story. What do you enjoy most about what you do?
I love helping people, giving them the knowledge that's needed. So not only do they know how to get to where they want to, but they know it's possible.
Okay. So let's get into it. You have basically 6 steps to financial freedom. Let's start with step number 1. What's the first step that you could, if you were sharing with someone who's financially challenged, they're one paycheck from being homeless, they're living paycheck to paycheck, they got student loan debt, or they got a challenge meeting their B's, they're robbing Peter to pay Paul. Maybe their bills got bills. They got people calling them, credit card people calling them on their phone. So what's the first step for financial freedom?
The first step has multiple it has multiple tools inside of it, right? It's multiple steps inside of step one. But that's creating a financial game plan,
Okay.
right? So that you can be able to know what's needed to be done to get from where you're at to where you want to go,
All right.
right? And in that first step is you want to buy wealth until you build wealth,
Okay.
right? So what we show people is what's called income replacement. Meaning if you have a family where you have, let's say you have children, you have a spouse, if anything would have ever happened to you, like you just said, living paycheck to paycheck, well, your family still needs that money. And if they don't have the money that's needed, that's what makes life insurance so important, right? So you already bought wealth, meaning if you pass away, that money is coming to your family, whether you're alive or not, right? And what we can do is, as we're building wealth, that takes on to the next step, right? So the next step would be number two. That would be budgeting, right? Knowing where your money is going, how much money are you spending every month, how much money can you save? Because when we find out or we ask ourselves, how much money have I spent?
Right.
We barely know, right? But once we find out, like, wow, I didn't know I spent that much money on food. Wow, I didn't know I spent that much money on clothing. And then we find out that we're spending more money on accessories versus stuff that's necessary, stuff that we need.
Right. Okay.
Right. And that's why we want to focus on, once again, if you don't have any much money or you're living paycheck to paycheck, you want to start paying yourself first. Right. And what that means is you want to be able to, once you get your check, out of that check, whether it's 100, 200, 300, 500, 1,000 plus, you want to take 10% of that and pay yourself first, meaning you put it into an account to where now you're saving money each and every check you get. So that in the next month, 2 months, half a year, full year, you'll have hundreds to thousands saved, not even realizing you saved about $20 per check, $50 per check, right? So that's what the next step is. But one of those accounts that are beneficial is an emergency fund. Okay. Meaning if anything ever happens to where, oh man, I got to buy a new car. I'm not able to pay my bill this month. You can take the money out of that emergency fund account and use it for that purpose instead of having to fall back into debt. Meaning you're gaining money from somebody else you're borrowing with and you're letting people loan money out to you and you're paying more money back than they gave you. Right. Because of the interest rate of return, you're paying more money than you actually borrow, which means in the end, you're losing more money. Okay. Right. And then the next thing we want to do, and this is all step two, right? This is still part of step two, is we want to be able to have a will. Now, I know that's super rare now, especially with these generations. Half of the people don't even know what a will is. So let me educate you, right? What a will is, that's a piece of paper or a document to where you're able to sign off what you want, your material, anything you own, whether it's furniture, shoes, it could be anything in the world, right? Whatever you own, it's going to be given in the way that you want it to be given to. So let's say, for example, you have children. Once again, you have 2 children. Well, you can have half of your stuff that you own go to your oldest child, and then the other half going to your youngest child, right? And that's what a will is. So if anything ever happens, they know exactly what to do, and they have to follow it because it's more of a law now instead of you just saying, I want you to do this because it's written in a document, right? So that's the importance of having a will. But all that together is step 2. So step 1, first, we want to build a financial game plan, right? And in that, we want to be able to buy wealth until you build wealth. Next is in step 2, we want to be able to have a budget plan, emergency fund savings, and a will. So if anything ever happens, people know what to do with your money, right? So now step number 3, we want to accelerate paying off debt, not just pay it off. We want to accelerate it. And one of those methods It's called snowballing or
Okay.
debt stacking, meaning you're paying one debt off and using that money that you paid for the debt every single month to add on. So what do I mean? Let's say you're paying $100 a month to pay off your phone bill, which
Okay.
is the debt that you own to the phone. Right after you finish owning that phone or paying everything off in full, you can use that $100 you were using every month and add that to the bill that you're paying for your car note. So instead of you only paying $100 for your car note, now you can pay $200.
Okay.
Meaning
Okay.
you're able to pay it off faster, and it would go so on and so forth. Usually coming to the end of where you got hundreds to thousands that you can start using on your mortgage, which is
Okay.
usually one of the highest debts that people have besides student loans, right? So that's why we want to accelerate paying off debt, which
Okay.
is step
Okay.
number 3.
All right.
Now, after we pay off your debt, step number 4 is actually getting a retirement plan.
Retirement plan. Okay.
You want to be able to retire. Why? So that you can live the life you want to and you don't ever have to go work again. Like you never have to go work at your job. You don't have to do anything if you're a business owner, right? You can
Okay.
actually relax for the rest of
Right.
your life and do whatever you want to.
Right.
And that's all the life we want, right? We all want to be free, especially
Right.
financially,
Right.
right? So that's a very important step.
Okay.
Now, there's 2 more left, but I
Okay.
really want you to understand how important the retirement is. See, a lot of people, we say we want to retire. We want to not have to work for the rest of our lives. But a lot of people don't even know how to build a game plan for retirement, nor do they understand what retirement really is.
Right.
Because retirement is not just an age. Like, it's not when you turn 60 years old or 70, you can finally retire. You know what I mean? It's when you actually get a number of money, so a certain amount of money accumulated over a certain amount of time, you can be able to start using that money for the rest of your life. Meaning you never have to worry about any other money coming away from you or even to you to where you got to live paycheck to paycheck, to where you have to worry about how much money I'm spending. Right? And that's what real retirement is. Right? So now step number 5.
Okay.
Step number 5 is college savings.
Okay.
Now, this one is a little bit different. This is more of if you want to, because there are parents who really don't mind if their children don't go to college. And then there are some parents who really want their children to go to college, so they want to make sure they have the money needed. Because I believe on average right now through the pandemic, right, the average amount of debt people have is almost $90,000. And
Okay.
the majority of that is from student loans,
Right. Right.
which became trillions of dollars that people had to pay because so many different people are going to college, but rarely anybody pays off the debt that's needed.
Right. Right. Right.
And that can hurt not only now, but that can hurt you in the future with a lot of different areas. Right? And if we have the money needed, let's say you're paying $50,000 every single year for 4 years. That means you need about $200,000 or even more, right? Because of all the different stuff that come with college. But you would
Right.
need $200,000 plus to be able to make sure you don't owe the school anything and you can pay for your
Right.
classes. Now, I had a different story, right? I was blessed with the opportunity to go to school for free. Right. And the reason for that was because I had worked my butt off in football, which gave me a full ride scholarship to college.
Okay.
So it's not much money I even owe. But there's a lot of people out there who want to be doctors, who want to be lawyers, who want to be dentists, who want to be, all these huge areas to where it takes 6, 8 years, almost 10 years to even get the necessary degrees so that you can go in that field that you wanted to be in. And they usually owe the most money, which is like hundreds of thousands, right? I actually know somebody at my school who owes $500,000 to the school, and right now he's a dentist. And think about this: if you owe $500,000 to the school, the money that you're making from your job, you're really not even making that money because you have to pay off the school. Now, I know a lot of people are like, no, you don't. You don't have to pay them off. Well, you're right. You don't have to fully pay them off once you get your money. But it's a great idea to do that so that you don't owe anything in the future and you're not losing more money than you can gain. Right? So that's why we want to be able to have college savings so that people never have to worry about that anymore. Right? And last but not least, this is the most important thing ever. So I really want you to take notes on this one. If you didn't hear anything else I said, this right here will change your life forever. And that's accomplishing your other goals and dreams. See, when you pay for life insurance, right, that leaves money to your family when you pass away. When you got your budgets together, emergency fund savings, and a will, your money is good no matter what happens to you because people know what to do with it. Accelerating paying off debt means you're going to be debt free, right? Retirement, that means you're able to retire because you have more than enough money saved for retirement for the rest of your life. College savings, you want to be able to be debt free with college, right? But the reason why goals and dreams are so important is because if you don't have any goals and dreams, more than likely none of this stuff will ever be accomplished because there's no purpose of why you're getting these things. Like there will be no reason for life insurance if you don't have a purpose for it. But until you realize that I want to leave my family generational wealth or multi-generational wealth, then I can be able to leave that for my family through life insurance as one way. There are multiple ways. But when it comes down to budgeting, right, if you don't want to be able to save more money, then why even look at your budget? It don't matter. I don't care about saving money, right? So if you don't have a goal for it or a dream to be financially independent, if you're not motivated to do it, you probably won't even take heed to anything that I've given through these last few minutes. Right? And that's why the goals and dreams are so important, because if you're motivated, if you want to do something different than your family members have ever done, if you want to do something different than you've never seen ever in your life that anybody accomplished, it's possible. And that's why I want to be able to get across is that you can be financially free. You can be financially independent, no matter who you are, no matter where you're coming from. If you take all the 6 steps, right? Income replacement being number 1, so you can buy wealth till you build wealth. Number 2, budgeting plan, emergency fund savings, and a will, so you can have everything, all your ducks in a row. Right? Number 3, accelerating paying off debt, so that you don't have to worry about paying anything, so you can start paying yourself more money. Step number 4, retirement. If you want to be able to retire and never have to work, to go to work, to live paycheck to paycheck, to not have money issues, then you want to start focusing on your retirement. Then you got college savings, right? And it don't just have to be for your kids. It can be for anybody, whoever you care about, right? But they don't have to worry about paying for college. And last but not least, accomplishing your goals and dreams. Other things that you want besides that. If you want to travel the world, if you want to drive your favorite car, if you want to go to your favorite place in the world, if you want to spend all your time with the people you love the most, it's possible. Right? And that's why if we don't have the will or desire to become financially free, then nothing I said matters.
All right, all right. I appreciate how you laid out each step, and I think you laid out a good game plan. Now, you said you played ball in college, right? Did you went
Yes.
4 years? Okay,
Yes, 4
okay,
years.
4 years. Okay, so and you came out of college debt free. I'm assuming scholarship or
Yes, I'm gonna say it wasn't fully debt free, but it was a few things I owned because
Okay.
it's only about 10,000, maybe
Oh,
5,000.
okay. So you
So
finished.
it's
All right. So you finished school. You had an opportunity. Okay.
yeah,
And I just not to make a sports analogy, but this is a good game plan for financial freedom. And I want to go back to step number one,
okay.
if you don't mind, on buying wealth. Now, why is that so important as step one? Because I would, in my mind, I would think, paying off debt, credit cards is the first
Mhm.
step. Why is it important to, as step number one in your game plan that you presented today? Why is that important?
It's so important to buy wealth because although we can be, and I remember this through football, right? I can use myself as an example. If I'm focused on hitting, because I was on defense, right? If I'm just focused on hitting the quarterback, it's possible I can miss steps in the process to where I never will even get a chance to reach him. So, what do I mean by that? If we don't buy wealth, it's possible that we can pay off our debt. We can start using our money for different things. But one thing that we all have in common is someday we're going to pass away. And it can happen
Okay.
anytime, right? A great example, the pandemic. Sad to
Right,
say,
right,
because even I lost a lot of people, right?
right.
But we can die any day. So if we're able to buy wealth and that money can come to our family even when we pass away, that's why life insurance is so important. Now, of course, you have to get the right kind, but that comes with more education, which is
Okay,
what I take more time to do. Is I want to educate people on
okay.
what's the best for them. But to answer his question, is because people can pass away any day, and
Right,
if we don't have life insurance, then everything you built can fall down in one day because
right.
nobody else is going to be able to do it the same way that you did.
Right. And I'm sure you may
You
have
know?
experienced or maybe
Yes.
seen stories on Facebook or or among family and friends, a tragic death, and that
Yes.
person didn't have a policy, and somebody had to start a GoFundMe account or pass the
Yes.
hat or call up family members to come up with something for final services,
Hmm.
and then there's debts to be managed or paid or something like that. So we all have stories about that or
Right.
experienced that personally or know of someone who has. So I would agree with you that it's important
Hmm.
to buy wealth, to have something you can pay off any outstanding debts,
Very true.
so it's not a burden to the family that's left behind, as well as pass on wealth to your children or loved ones. So
Yes.
yes. Now, this whole thing with budgeting, you said a few things in that step in your game plan.
Hmm.
Um, you said pay yourself. Now, and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just trying to bring clarification.
Yeah,
So if
makes
you
sense.
let's say if uh, basically a lot of people
Hmm.
live paycheck to paycheck
Very true.
and they can't really pay themselves. They're paying the streaming services. They're paying their rent, mortgage, car note,
Right.
cell phone bill, discretionary money, entertainment money, whatever.
Very
Uh,
true.
how would you have somebody car? Now, what does it mean to pay themselves? They're saving, they're saving long term, or how would they find money to pay themselves? Or what? How would you define that?
So paying yourself comes in different formats, right?
Okay.
The way that I'm trying to explain it is more of creating a habit to
Okay.
where when you gain money from your checks, like you just say, you could be paying for all different bills. And the first thing to think about is, do I really need what I'm paying for? Like if you got, and I know this sounds crazy, so forgive me, you guys, right? You're probably gonna hate me for this, but do I need Netflix? Do I need Disney Plus? Do I even really watch TV? Why am I paying for a TV bill of cable if I barely watch TV?
Right.
Right?
Right.
If we're able to save
Now
that
you just made some people angry because they got to
money,
watch
right?
their Netflix, the new movies coming out for
Exactly.
Thanksgiving, and they streaming. They got to have HBO Max to watch
Right.
Insecure or Squid Games. That's
Very
people
true.
can that could be a ouch. To cut out the streaming services. Is there?
Yes, but what makes it here? This you're so right. I love it. I love it. But then you really have to ask yourself,
Right.
and a lot of motivational people say this, especially as we know a lot of motivation people. They ask you one question: how bad do you want it?
Okay.
How bad do you want to be financially free? If you knew that by saving a certain amount of money every single month for the next 5 years, next 10 years,
Okay.
will be able to give you the money you need for retirement, would you
Okay.
be willing to stop watching TV for a few years so that you can be
Okay.
able to watch it for the rest of your life? Would you be willing to sacrifice that small area to where you
Okay.
can do it whenever you want to because you're financially free?
Okay.
Right? And
Okay.
that's like the mindset behind it, is that we want to
Okay.
create a habit. I don't really even care if you're saving $1 per check, right? At least you have a habit now.
Okay. So what you're saying is pay yourself, have a habit, whether it's $1, $5,
Yes.
$10, and go through your budget and see what is a need or
Mhm.
discretionary or something like that.
Yes. Very yes.
Maybe you don't need 4 or 5 stream because they got like 4 or 5 streaming services. They got
Yeah. I saw
Disney
that.
Plus, Hulu, Netflix, HBO Max, Showtime. Maybe you can narrow it down to maybe
Right.
one, or there's some type of bundle with your phone service and only use that, to
Very
cut
true.
things back. So okay, all right. So I see. So
Yeah.
you're gonna go through your budget and get in the
Yes.
habit of paying
Yes.
yourself, whether it's $5, $10 per paycheck. And where are you gonna put that money? Is that they give it to you, or they
So,
put it underneath the mattress or bank account, or what? Uh,
well, we know we come from generations where
Cryptocurrency?
they would put it underneath the mattress, right?
Where they
Because that
putting that
was
money?
the only place you could trust back in the
Right.
day, was putting it in your house.
Okay.
Well, it depends on what you want to do, right? If you want to invest money, use it there. My advice, personally, just with my opinion, is to get a checking account.
Okay.
Get a checking account to where you don't have to pay anything. It's possible at some banks where you don't have to pay per month, but you can have a checking account that's free, meaning you can put your money and get your checks through there. I mean, even Cash App, right? That's another app that we use for a lot of money,
Okay.
right? When it comes down to, all different credit cards, debit card apps, but
Okay.
use some type of bank account to
Okay.
where you can start using the checking account to start get your money, like I said, accumulating more money over time. And it's kind of like make a separate account is what I'm really trying to say.
A separate
So where
account.
it's not
So,
all in one account, like you don't have all your
right.
eggs in one
Right.
basket.
Right. You have a
Make an
separate
account.
account.
Yep. Make
Call it
one account.
Pay
Where,
yourself account.
amen.
All right, pay
Amen,
yourself
brother.
account. Okay. Now we know the banks don't really give good interest, So do you
Right.
recommend them put them somewhere else,
It just
or depends on?
depends on the person, depending on what you want. Because my
Okay.
advice would be, like I said, that's why I was talking about getting a checking account. Because with a
Okay.
checking account, you don't even have to worry about any of that. It's just an account where money is coming in and money is going out. Right.
Right.
So if you make an extra checking account, right, then you can be able to, like he just said, set that account up for paying myself first, or
Pay myself first. You're right.
my money, saving money, my
Right.
play money. It's whatever. Just saving the money so that you can be able to start getting a habit of saving money per
Mhm.
week, every other week, however you get paid check wise.
Right. 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 Okay. All
Yep.
right. And then you said over time when you're paying yourself,
Hmm.
is that where you develop your emergency fund from pay yourself account, or is that a separate thing you do?
Yep. So that's a separate account because that's why it's an emergency fund savings account, right? That's an account that you can be able to create for specifically emergencies. Like you're
Okay.
not using that money for anything else but only emergency situations or circumstances, right? So
Okay.
you have a car accident, you don't have a lot of money in your bank account, but you got $1,000 or $2,000 that you saved over the last 2 years. Well, you can
All
use
right.
that 2,000 to go get another car. It's like, okay, I got
Right.
the
Right.
emergency. Let me use it for that emergency, and then just start building
Right.
up on it again. So just in case anything else happens.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
That's good. That's good. Okay. And now you talked about in step number 3,
Hmm.
accelerating paying off debt. So credit cards and stuff like that. Now there's
Yes.
different philosophies on paying debt, do you start off with the biggest one first, the smallest, or combination? What do you think's the best way?
And that's a tricky question because it really, as long as you're following the concept of it, with you kind of want to start. It depends on how much money you have. Right? If you have a lot of money, then yeah, I would go ahead and start attacking the highest one first. But like you said, on average, a lot of people don't have 100 or 500 extra dollars they can save every month. So I would use the smallest account first. Let's say
Okay.
you got $30 you're paying every month for um, a debt account. I would literally use that money until you pay that off in the next few months, and then use that 30 to add on to your next debt account,
Okay.
your next credit card, your next I say area that you might owe some debt or next loan. And
Right.
then let's say you have a credit card that costs 150 every month that you have to pay for paying off that debt.
Right.
You could add that 30 to that 150, making it 180. So instead of you going by the minimum or the standards that they want you to pay, you can just keep on paying that. And it's going to confuse them. They will be confused. Like, why are you paying more money than needed? Because they want to
Right.
be able to earn more money from you. But that's the better way. Then you can use that 180 to pay off your car note, which might
Okay.
cost 180. So that's 360 that you got for the car note. And it's just going to make it to where you're saving more money in a faster rate. So let's say it took you 9 years to pay off your debt just by paying the minimums.
Okay.
Well, it's possible it could take only 5 years or 4 years by using
Okay.
the debt stacking program.
Okay. All right. That's good. Debt stacking program. And of course, you talked about when you go through those first three steps. Number four, you hit those steps, then you
Yeah.
start going into your retirement,
Hmm.
and those who have kids, college savings, and then accomplishing your dream goals. So
Yes.
okay, okay. Now, what experience you have? I know you play ball. So
Hmm.
now, is your background in business or finance or something else?
No, my background, I was a mathematics person. So my background
Oh,
is
okay.
actually in engineering,
Oh, okay.
actually.
Great,
Yeah.
great. Okay. All right. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Engineering. Okay. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Um, so I think these steps you shared are very helpful for those who will be viewing, who want to get started on their journey to financial freedom. What I wanted to ask you is, in your and you
Mhm.
mentioned that you are a business developer. You help people develop their business. What separates you and your services that you provide with other uh, companies?
So the difference here is between me and the majority of other people or even anybody else, right? I have confidence in myself first. Second is I'm educating people, right? It's not so much about just making you purchase something or you being an owner. I need you to be able to realize, what am I buying? Why is it important? Why do I need it? How does it operate? How can it benefit me? Or is it just that you're trying to sell me something so it can benefit you?
Right.
Right. And that's why I take more time. Right. But it's worth the time because now I'm able to let people know this is the perfect plan for you because I'm able to customize it depending
Okay.
on what you want in your future. Right. If you want to save $1 million, we're gonna have
Right.
to make a different plan for you versus somebody that only want to save 100,000 or save
Okay.
200,000. Right. But there's one point I wasn't able to get across, and I gotta say this. So, what I'm showing you guys, these 6 steps are not just steps, right? They're actually formed as a house. Like the paper
Okay.
I have in front of me is like a house. So, if you were building a house, would you want that house built from the ground up or from the roof down? Right? And that's the mindset we have to have because a lot of people who are older, right, who are about to retire, they actually built their house, the majority of them built their house from the ground up, meaning they took care of everything that was needed, paying all their bills, paying their debts, doing everything that's needed, right, to take care of their family. even if they're only living paycheck to paycheck. They found some way to do it, right? With my generation, right? I'm 27 on the path to becoming 28, right? I want to get older and wiser, but my generation, around the 20s, 30s, and even younger, we focus only from the top to the bottom. Meaning we're so focused on our goals and dreams because the majority of us saw our parents never accomplish theirs. So it's like, instead of me taking your way and just going, paying my bills and getting a job and doing all that you tell me to do, we usually rebel against it because we saw it didn't work for them the way they wanted it to. So
Right.
they're showing us what to do, but we don't want to live that same life. We want to be financially free. So we're willing to go from the top to the bottom, which is still a problem, right? Because people who are older, and this is what I'm trying to get across, people who are older, they built their entire house, but they stopped at the roof. They
Okay.
never built a roof, which is accomplishing your goals and dreams. They
Okay.
never were able to accomplish their goals and dreams. And you still have time. But the majority of people gave up on their goals and dreams because they
Okay.
never found that it was possible or never believed it was
Yeah.
possible.
Yes.
And that's not a finished house. We want to be able to help you. And that's what makes me different too. I want to help you accomplish all your goals and dreams. Right now,
Right.
with younger people, we built a house. I don't know if you guys are really big on SpongeBob, right? But I say, Patrick, the one that people call the most foolish one or even silliest one.
Right. Right. Right.
Patrick has a house, but notice his house is just a roof on top of the ground.
Right. Right.
That's the type of life that we're usually trying to focus on is, okay, I'm able to get my own car. I want to be able to get this special place. I want to be able to travel the world. But we find out we're never able to retire
Right. Right.
because we never paid for our bills. We never started saving our money for retirement. We never
Right.
focused on the necessities, stuff we need to do because we just want to live the life of YOLO. You only live once. So let me just do
Right.
everything I want to do now because I
Right.
don't know if I'll even be living long enough to,
Right.
live that retirement life. And
Right.
that's
Right.
a problem. We want to be responsible enough to build the house, but
Right.
also have so much desire that we want to be able to finish off the house with that roof, accomplishing your goals and dreams. And I wanted
That's
to get that across, man.
right. Right. I appreciate you. I appreciate having you on the podcast today,
Thank you,
sharing
sir.
these six steps to financial freedom.
Yes.
This is going to be beneficial to a lot of people who are going to view this podcast, and
Yes.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
So, what I wanted to give you an opportunity to share is those who will watch this and who are going to learn from what you're sharing. What is a way, if they want to go further, what is a way for them to get in contact with you? What's the best way? Is it through social media, email, or a website, or how would they be able to benefit from your personal services?
Okay. Well, I'm old school, so this goes, it's beneficial for everybody. The
Okay.
best way is to either call me or even
Okay.
text me.
Okay.
And the phone number to be able to text me or call me at is 313-909-2306. And I'll say that one more time. It's 313-909-2306. If you
Okay.
have
Okay.
any questions, be able to text me or even give me a call and we can be able to move on from there. I have emails. I have, a Facebook account, even an Instagram, all those, but I'm always on my phone. So it's
Okay.
easier just to text me or call me and I'll be able to respond
Now,
immediately.
with your permission, I can put in our show notes your
Yes.
email and your Facebook handles. Is that okay? Or
Yes, that won't
okay.
be a problem at all.
Okay, so I'll have it for our viewers. Just check out in our description, show notes, Jerod Fisher's his email and his Facebook, social media handles if you want to reach out to him there. But I appreciate you, man. I appreciate the time. Any upcoming things or announcements or anything you'd like to share before we close out?
Yes, well, the first thing is to God be the glory for this opportunity.
Okay.
Mr. Charles, I thank God for you for this opportunity,
Amen.
sir.
Yes,
And
you're welcome.
what I do is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. So it's just an hour pack time frame to where I'm giving information about how to build your own business and how to be able to use biblical principles to build the best foundation on how to be able to run your business the best way. And like I said, that's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Because some people off Monday, some people off Wednesday, some people off Friday.
Okay.
And that's from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I don't know if there's anyone out of state listening to this.
Okay.
But that's the best time too. You can get to go
How
to
would
those
they?
classes.
How would they join in? Is it a call, Zoom, or
It would be through Zoom.
through Zoom? Okay.
So
All right.
I can be able to give you the Zoom information too as well.
Okay.
So you guys
Okay.
can be able to see me.
All right. All right. I appreciate that. All right. Well, that concludes our podcast. I want to thank you again, Jerod, for sharing this information. I would just wish you much success as you continue on helping people to the steps and journey to financial freedom, and that we can all build a strong financial house.